Hey, so the purpose of this video is to give you guys a tutorial on how to set up Claude to use it the best way possible to get the most out of the product. There's a few different things that you'll want to do first in your setup process to make sure that Claude knows you best. So first, what we would do is right when you get into Claude, obviously you would see this screen. I also would recommend using the Claude desktop app. I think you will be able to get a lot more out of it total. So you'll go over here, you'll go click on your name, you'll go to settings. Right here under instructions for Claude, this is key. This is where you will train Claude about your preferences, how you want it to behave, and how you want it to overall replicate your voice when it writes information on your behalf, or how it goes and executes tasks for you. So, for example, I have a piece of directions right here that says never produce emails or messages that appear jumbled, compressed, marked down, rendered when pasted into Gmail. One thing that you'll notice is when you start getting Claude to take actions on your behalf, sometimes Claude can mess up formatting. So you want to give it formatting directions so you have consistent production and quality. So the next thing to also understand in the settings panel is when you start using Claude a lot, you might run into usage limits where it says that you're out of usage for a certain period of time. A way that you can keep track instead of just being blindsided by it telling you you're out of usage, you can go into usage and you can see how much you've used in your current session. Obviously, I've been kind of going crazy this session, so I have 38% used. You have your weekly limits here. And overall, you can just monitor this as well as your usage credits so you can see where you're at with your Claude usage and how much you have left for the task you're trying to finish that day. So this is a pretty cool feature here. Say that you have been using ChatGPT for some time now, or say that you've been using a different AI for some time and switching over to Claude is scary because you're like, I'm going to have to restart. I'm going to have to retrain it on everything I've trained my other AI on. This is where you can import memory from other AI providers. If you click start import, you can copy this prompt, you put it into the other AI chat that you've been using. It'll generate basically a full memory detail to paste into Claude memory here, and you'll go ahead and paste it here, and then it'll add it to the memory that Claude has on you as an individual, right? If you're training an AI on your preferences, what you like, some of your life history, some details around your employment, and you want it to remember those things about you, this is the best way to carry over that memory context from other AI tools that you're using. Okay, so connectors is probably the most important thing to me about using Claude. They have moved it over to the customize section. So if we click on customize, we have our connectors here. Connectors are the way that you could do tool calls. Tool calls allow you to access other softwares within Claude for you to be able to just from the chat, basically deploy these tools and allow them to take actions on your behalf. Oftentimes it'll ask for permission and you have to say allow permission, but it's the way that you can get the most out of Claude. So for example, I have my Gmail connected, my Google Calendar, my Google Drive, my Linear, my Notion. These allow me to alter these softwares from the Claude chat itself. So say that I want to send an email. I can be like, use Gmail to email Abraham about this, and it'll know to use the Gmail tool call to go ahead and execute that task. We use Linear, for example, to track all of our tasks that we have due. And so it's a way for us to be able to update our task list from just inside Claude itself. Okay, so Cowork is one of my other favorite areas within Claude. Cowork allows you to deploy tasks, allow Claude to go and execute those tasks, allow you to go do something else and come back to it and have it finished for you. So something that I might have it do is optimize my week, right? For example, it goes through my calendar. It looks at all my meetings where I have gaps. It proposes changes eventually and also asks me questions about my calendar before it proposes those changes. And then I can go ahead and launch this, for example. It'll go ahead and show me a progress bar where it's working out of, the context that it's using, and then it'll come back and tell me when it's done. So right now it's loading those tools that we had talked about under connectors. So we'll see what it comes up with in just a second. So here it asks me my goals. It asks me what calendar I wanted to look at, what it can block off and convert in terms of events. And now it's breaking down what I'm looking to do, what I can do to optimize. Sees I have no meeting windows that I can enforce. Um, and it wants me to connect another calendar. So what I can do in this situation, if it ever tells you something's not connected, this is a good example of how to go solve this. So, okay, so I just connected my other calendar. So I'm going to go ahead and tell Claude that now. Just connect. So now it's checking the tool call list again. Great. So now you can see it actually fetched some of my meetings that I have this week. It told me my busiest day and when I have potential gaps. So now it's asking me what I would like to do to move forward. So yeah, so I want to move 1 to 2 specific ops forward by Friday. So I'm telling it propose an SOW going out. Let's do propose that and internal milestones. So this is moving around my team's daily sync to align with my goals for the week. So it's basically helping me plan better based on my goals for this next week. Automatically moving these things around on my calendar based off the goals I've told it. And now that the connector is set up properly, you can see all my context and it's going ahead and reorganizing my schedule. So this is an example of just how co-work can work. Obviously, there's a lot of other use cases, but I wanted to go ahead and show you guys this. So this is Dispatch. Dispatch is really cool because it allows you to pair your Claude mobile app with your Claude desktop app, which the desktop app is a lot more powerful. So I'm going to go ahead and scan this with my mobile phone. It's a QR code, as you guys can see. It goes ahead and syncs with the mobile app so that I can type in the chat on the Claude app and it will pair with the desktop app for specific tasks. So this is really cool because say that I'm on the go and I have my computer with me and I want to be able to talk to Claude, but I can't be holding open a computer, obviously, while I'm walking in public. I can go ahead and interact with the dispatch tab in the Claude app, and it's just a chat back and forth. And it'll go ahead and execute the task on the desktop app here. So as you can see on my screen, I'm basically giving it access to my files, keep the computer awake so the computer can still take actions while I'm talking to it on my phone. And then you just click finish setup. And now this is how it looks. This is basically the remote server that Claude allows you to control on your computer with your phone. And I think it's super handy tool. It reminds me a lot of OpenClaw, if any of you guys heard about that when it came out. And the idea was that people could take very extensive actions on the go just from their mobile phone. And now Claude allows that. And last but not least, we have Claude Code. Claude Code is my favorite part of Claude. It allows me to chat with it just like I'm chatting, in the regular chat. Make edits. It will go make the changes on my behalf in the code. It'll allow me to test it on a local link, like this link here, to see if the changes make sense. If they do, I can tell it to go ahead and push the code. It'll push the code to GitHub, and then I can merge the code from GitHub into the main code base so that it's live. This has made coding easier than ever. I'm not a developer, and now I can code because of how user-friendly this interface is. For example, some of the cards were not set up right on the NebOS platform, meaning they weren't expanding. You had a bunch of jumbled text, and I wanted to make the cards expandable and compressible so that it wasn't overwhelming to the user. So I gave that feedback here to Cloud Code, and it went and took the initiative to make those changes and then gave me the local link to test it. Cloud Code can be scary for some people, but I want you to know it's something that you just have to jump into and start interacting with. And over time, it becomes a lot easier to use and it becomes just as user friendly as the chat function inside of Claude here. I plan on doing a round 2 review of Claude and how to best utilize the desktop app and going into even more detail. But this was just kind of preemptive first round of a dive into Claude and what you can do with Claude. And there's so many different features that are constantly coming out. I want this to be a place where you can always find guidance on feeling comfortable using the latest and greatest AI tools.